Hello, good morning. Welcome to Melody Joy Quilts. I am actually not going to be quilting today. I found out about an organization called Ryan's Cases for Smiles, and it is a charity that collects pillowcases for children and preteens that are in the hospital. And I did look up, there is a local chapter for the Houston area, and they take donations of pillowcases for Texas Children's, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and the Children's Hospital at Memorial Hermann. So I have 3 kids. My background is I'm an oncology nurse, and I know that hospitals can be a terrifying place. Even for adults, it's very scary. There's needles, you're getting treatment. I personally, as an oncology nurse, I worked for many years in cancer centers giving chemotherapy, and even adults, it's terrifying. So this organization collects donations for pillowcases to give to preteens and children that are in the hospital, just to try to help make it less scary. And so they have on their website a pattern for a hot dog style pillowcase. Now, a lot of the pillowcases that you might see call for 3 fabrics, a main fabric, an accent fabric, and then even a third fabric. The pattern on their website, which I'm going to put a link in the description, only calls for 2 fabrics. So you need whatever is going to be your main fabric for your pillowcase, and then you need a fabric that is going to be the cuff of the pillowcase. And it has the measurements. It says make sure that you're using fun, bright fabric with kid-friendly designs. You need 1/3 yard of border fabric, and you need 3/4 of a yard of your main fabric. And they recommend kind of that the cuff be a solid or an almost solid, and then you use some kind of a fun novelty print. They do also go all the way up to like teenagers. So my kids are 12, 9, and 7, and these pillowcases I'm going to donate. But when I was in the store trying to pick out fabrics, there's a lot of really cute like cartoony ones, and those are great I think if you have like toddlers, but even my kids are 12, 9, and 7. So I tried to pick out my color combos thinking of each of my kids, what they would pick if we were in that situation. So this first combo here, I picked this black fabric with blue and purple butterflies, kind of with my preteen daughter in mind. Her favorite color is lavender right now, and actually when I was pulling these out of the washing machine last night, she commented that she liked this fabric. So I think I nailed it for a preteen, where it's not too childlike, but it's also still kind of a fun novelty print. This lavender has kind of like white brushstroke polka dot, like almost like painted. So this is going to be one of my color combos. I did pre-wash because it actually says to pre-wash all of your fabric. They specifically say that if you want to donate these for charity, for specifically this charity, Cases for Smiles, that you need to pre-wash your fabric, which I did. And when I pre-washed it, oh my gosh, all of this is what I cut off the edges after I had pre-washed it. It just kind of, I don't know if there's a better way to pre-wash, but I pre-washed all my fabric per the instructions. They also say because you're being donated to a hospital setting, that you need to use some type of free and clear detergent. This is what I already have on hand. My oldest daughter has some skin issues, so we've been using detergent like this for years. No dyes, no perfumes. Something without, like, you can't use like regular scented detergent, because these are going to the hospital setting and you don't know what type of problems these children are facing, what kind of challenges physically. So it needs to be pre-washed fabric, 100% cotton, and you need to use some type of free and clear detergent. So 100% free of perfumes and dyes. This is the type of, and then it said don't use any fabric softener, dryer sheets. So maybe a little different than your normal laundering. I just washed these on cold water and then did a light tumble dry. So this is my combination for one pillowcase set. It's gonna be these purples. My second daughter loves dogs and she's 9. So I picked this fun print, has these really fun artsy puppies. There's a poodle and a chihuahua and like a Great Dane, and this just print seemed really fun. I need to iron these, obviously. This is the fabric that I picked for the cuff of this one. This is how it came out when I washed it, so I need to iron it. But this will be pillowcase number 2, will be this combination. And then pillowcase number 3, I was inspired by my son. His favorite color is orange. He is 7, and I found this print that is monster trucks with the fire flames, and I thought this orange fabric went really well with it. So these are my 3 that I'm gonna work on today, and I'm just gonna follow the instructions that are straight from the website. So I need to iron this. It's already come out of the wash, but it came out really wrinkly. So let me get this ironed up, and then I'm gonna cut my pieces out. So after you pre-wash, you need to cut your cuff strip into 10.5 inches by 40.5 inches, and your main part into 26.5 inches by 40.5 inches. So I'm gonna work on ironing and cutting these out per the pattern instructions. I just think this is a fabulous charity. The more I read about it, I was laying in bed last night and watching videos about this organization and tearing up, because I just think, both from my perspective as a nurse and as a mom, it just seems like a great charity, and definitely something that I would want to support with my time and energy. And if you enjoy sewing, maybe this is something that you could do. It always feels good to give back in some way to your community. And hospitals, I mean, I work in hospitals, right? But hospitals can be a scary place. I was a cancer nurse for many, many years. Now I'm actually working in rheumatology with arthritis patients. So still doing infusions, but I'm not doing cancer nursing anymore, because it just got really, I did it for many, many years, like over 10 years. And that's what my certifications are in, is oncology. I have my OCM, which is oncology certified nurse, and I did outpatient chemotherapy for many, many years. And I know it can be a very scary place. And even our adults will come in with comfort blankets or pillows that they'll bring during their chemo treatments. And so I can imagine even more for kids, that something that's bright and colorful and reminds them of something that they enjoy could just really be a blessing when you're going through kind of a hard time in your life. So I am gonna iron this. Okay, now the edges look a little crazy because I did pre-wash this. So now I need to trim this one to 10.5 by 40.5. Let me kind of get my other fabrics out of the way here. I'm gonna trim as far over as I can to get, I'm not sure if there's a better way to pre-wash so that it don't shred up my fabric, but I followed the instructions on the website, which said to pre-wash, so that's what I did. Okay, so I trimmed that side. I'm gonna turn this around so I can try to get, okay, yeah, looks like I will be able to get 10.5 inches, okay. And actually, okay, I was a little worried I wasn't gonna get enough inches out of this, but I think I will. Okay, it's supposed to be, got it to here. I'm gonna do another 1/4 inch off the other side because I still have a little bit of the shredded pre-washing on that side. Okay, so I'm gonna line this up here. I'm just lining it up on my 7-inch line. And then I'm gonna come to 17.5 on this side because that'll give me the 10.5 inches that I need. Okay, so I now have it 10.5 inches. And then what I need to do is 40.5. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I have my first piece cut for the cuff of my first pillowcase. And now I'm going to work on ironing this fabric, and I need to trim this one to 26 inches. So let me just iron this a little bit. Oh, I think this is perfect for little boys. My son has so many of these little monster trucks and the little remote control ones. So I think for a lot of little boys would probably be attracted to this. We've taken him to the monster truck rally before with his cousins, and that was really fun. So I think this could be a really fun fabric for little boys. They basically just said don't do anything scary, no glitter, no flannel, 100% cotton, and to do some type of fun novelty prints. So that's what I was going for. And then a contrasting solid color. Okay, so now let's see here. This should be the 26 inches. Let's see here. Okay. I'm gonna need to turn my whole mat, I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to turn this whole mat this way. Maybe so that I can get, yeah, I'm able to get 26 inches. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so let me get it to here. I'm gonna cut this on the 26-inch line, and then I'll turn it around and cut it 26 inches on the other side. Okay, so that's on my 26-inch line. And then if I turn this whole thing around this way and line it up on my 1, it says 26.5, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to quite, maybe 26.25. No, because I lost some of my fabric when I pre-washed. I'm only gonna be able to get 26 inches. I'm gonna get 26 inches. And then I need, let's turn it this way. Okay. That one there. And I have the folded edge of my fabric on the 1-inch line. And so it's not super obvious from the video, so I'm adding this voiceover to let you know that it's folded in half. I'm just gonna make sure that I've got these cut the same width. Okay, so now that I'm done cutting, I'm going to first take this piece and I'm going to lay it down right side up. I'm going to take, right side up in front of you, and then take the body of the pillowcase and lay it right side down on top of the border. And this is where I am gonna need some clips. Okay, so I have the cuff right side up. I have my main pillowcase right side down. I'm gonna match up these corners and I'm gonna clip. So I'm gonna go along here and clip this together. And I'm gonna come down this other end, kind of just pick these ends up and clip this together. Okay. Okay, so okay, so like so. Now you reach down and you grab this far end and you're gonna fold it and then you're gonna roll. This is called the hot dog method. So this is step 2 and 3 is that we're gonna roll this up. Okay, so we're gonna roll this towards the top. Okay. I didn't do a very good job rolling. I think I could do a little bit better job of rolling this all together. Okay, but you're gonna roll this up towards the top. Then your step 4, you're gonna see this bottom and you're gonna take this and fold it all the way up to here And then you're gonna clip these together. Okay. Bring this up to here and clip. So my border is face up. My main part of my pillowcase is face down. Then we did that hot dog roll and we brought the bottom of that border cuff up to meet, and we're gonna clip all 3 of these layers together. It can be a little bit fiddly, but we've now made our hot dog roll up here, okay? So all of that is rolled up inside of there, and I just need to clip all of this together. Matching up my edges here. Okay. They have chapters for these all over the United States. Apparently they do a drive every September. And I know we're in October now, but I just found out about this organization. So I think this is a great thing. Okay, so once you've got everything all clipped together, the next part is going to be to sew all of these together. Sew all of this together. Okay. I'm gonna just hold onto this end here. And then when I approach the end, I will back stitch. Okay, we finished page 1. We're moving on to page 2 of our instructions, which is, we now need to, let me cut this little, this was just my little, this is what I use to keep my threads from unthreading, a little leader ender piece. Okay, we now have our hot dog roll. We now have to pull the body of our pillowcase out. So we're just gonna reach inside and just start working it through. Basically turning this cuff right side out, because right now it's inside out. So you can, it takes a little bit to get it going, but then you should be able to just start pulling this part out and just working this part down. Okay. Almost got it now. Okay. All right, so now we should have something that looks like this. Okay, that is looking pretty good. I need to iron this a little bit. So let me get some of this out of my way a little bit. Bring my ironing board back over so that I can kind of iron this cuff a little bit. But now you can see there's no, all of our seams are encased. There's no raw edges back here, and there's no raw edges on the front. So that's kind of the whole purpose of using that method, is that all of your seams are gonna be on the inside, so you don't have any raw edges poking out. Okay, I really like my color choices here. I know this is like for a little boy, but I think, I also am a Houston Baptist University Husky. That's my alma mater, and their colors are royal blue and orange. And so maybe I'm also really attracted to this pillowcase because it's my school colors from college. I don't know. It's also a classic color combination, but I'm just gonna give this a little iron. But this is a really easy pillowcase method. And this is the method that they have on their website as their preferred method. And again, 100% cotton, some type of fun novelty print that would appeal to kids or teenagers. And because the whole purpose is to try to make them smile when they're in the hospital going through whatever they're going through. You're never in the hospital for anything fun, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna give this a little press. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, so now what we need to do is fold this together. So we're gonna put right sides together, like so. And now we need to sew all the way around the outside. So probably the most important part to match up is here at the cuff, because you do have a seam here and here. So this is where you probably would want to just, you know, make sure you're matched up here. Okay, and I'm gonna take one of these little clips and I'm gonna clip right at that intersection there. And then I'm gonna kind of come down towards this other end and put a clip in here on the corner. Now, I do not have a serger. The website recommends, if you don't have a serger to finish your seam, to do a regular seam and then to do a zigzag. So I need to switch my foot so that I will be able to do a zigzag stitch. Which feet I have going on in here. Yeah, I think if I just go back to my number 1 foot, I will be able to do a zigzag stitch, because I have my 97 on right now, but that's a 1/4 inch foot, and I need to be able to do a zigzag, because if you have a serger, they say you can just use a serger, but I don't have a serger yet. Maybe one day. I don't know which. I kind of, if I buy another machine, another big machine, I want a long arm machine. But I see more and more patterns that call for serging, so who knows? Okay, so I just went ahead and threw a couple clips in around the edges here. I'm gonna start with a straight stitch, and then I'm gonna zigzag these edges, and then we're pretty much done. Start from this cuffed side. I'm gonna turn, and I'm gonna go down this other side. Double back stitch. Okay. Okay, so I have now done a straight stitch all the way around the edge. Now, it recommends, if you don't have a serger, to switch to a zigzag to help this not to fray. So I am now going to come back over my edges with a zigzag stitch. Again, if you have a serger, this is where you would serge. But I'm using a zigzag stitch around my edges. And this is primarily to prevent fraying. Turn and come down to the other side, across the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to a straight stitch. I don't forget later. Okay, let's turn this inside out. Okay, so I have finished my edges with a zigzag stitch. So I've done a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch all the way around those two sides. This side is all the fold, so there's nothing to sew there. And now I'm gonna turn this right side out and just use my hand and kind of help poke these corners out a little bit. That is one finished pillowcase for charity. And I hope this makes a little boy's hospital stay better. And I have a few more to go. I have some more fabrics, so I'm gonna make a couple more of these, but that is one finished pillowcase. Okay, and when you flip it this way, again, using that hot dog method, there's no raw edges here along this cuff. And then I finished my other part with a zigzag stitch. So this is all completed and I think it looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold this one up. And they said that they put them in Ziploc bags. And so this has already been washed with the detergent. I washed everything before I started today. So this has already been washed with the free and clear detergent. So I'm gonna fold this like so that it will fit in the gallon size Ziploc bag. I just have some Walmart bags and I'm gonna put this one in here. It's not gonna fit, I'm gonna fold it a little bit more. Should fit, okay. I can get it to fit in this bag. Smaller. Okay, let me see here. I do this in thirds, if it'll fit or not. I saw how they folded this in a video because they make it fit in the bag. Okay.
One of my former jobs was working for Belle's department store, so I used to fold jeans and shirts for all the clothing displays. I think I have pretty good folding skills, but let's see if I can get this in the bag.
So it'll kind of lay flat and be in the Ziploc bag. Okay. All right, I'm gonna make a couple more of these, but I've got one done, and it is packaged, I believe the way that they want it packaged, in the Ziploc bag. And so I have a couple more of these to make, and then I will be running them over. I was able to look up on the website where my chapter location is, and so I need to coordinate with the contact from my area. Her name was Sheila, about getting these dropped off. we're gonna start with the border right side up, and then right side down. Okay. So now I'm going to take this fabric and fold it. Then I am going to roll it. I'm gonna roll this fabric up like so. Then I'm gonna take this one and fold it over. Okay, so I'll roll it down on here. Now, this blue fabric seems like it's already trying to fray. So I'm going to go ahead and do the zigzag here as well on this part. I didn't do that on the other one, but I'm gonna do it on this one because I'm a little worried about this blue fabric. There we go.
Okay, so here I'm working on my third and final one. I will definitely say that doing them all in a row, one after the other, it gave me time to practice this method and I got a little faster each time. I definitely think this could be a fun project to work on with friends or with a group. And the more you do, the faster you get. And I really enjoyed working on these. I took all my kids to school this morning, came home, worked on this project. I got all 3 pillowcases done in just about 2 hours or less. So pretty quick for a sewing project and really enjoyable. I hope that you guys try this out. It's actually really satisfying to do this part. When you pull the little roll out from the cuff, it just, you don't think it's gonna turn out right, or at least it feels like it might be a mistake, but then when it flips all the way out and you see that all your seams are enclosed, it's just a very satisfying method. There's not a lot of times that you have to iron during this pattern. Right after you flip it out is one of the times you need to iron, and then the other time is just after you've pre-washed it. But that's about all the ironing you have to do. So there's not a lot of seams to match, there's not a lot of ironing, and it's a pretty quick and simple pattern. So then you just take the two sides, match your cuff together, and by the third time I did it, I don't think I used any pins or clips because it's just a long straight seam. And so I kind of held onto the bottom to make sure that was together. And then I just started sewing from the top, and I used my right hand to hold onto the bottom two seams together. And then I didn't pin or clip on this last pillowcase. I just kind of, like I said, I got a little faster with each one. And I'm pretty sure the more of these you make, the faster you could go. And it's fun.
Okay, I just finished my last pillowcase. I'm gonna turn this one right sides out. This is the one, again, that is more preteen inspired with just a little bit more you know, colors that I think like an older child or preteen might appreciate. It has kind of that subtle butterfly print on it. Okay. Well, that was a pretty quick and easy project. I finished 3 pillowcases pretty fast. That was fun. Okay, there's my purple one with my lavender. I have my puppy dog one I made. I think this could really appeal to kids because it's whimsical. It's got all kinds of little puppies and poodles and lots of bright colors. Again, they asked for novelty prints, so I think this definitely falls in the novelty prints. It has little paw prints, all different bright colors. And then this one, the first one that I made with the monster trucks. And so this one is the one, again, that was the orange. I don't want to unfold the whole thing, but it's orange with the monster trucks. So very simple pattern. Again, I got the pattern straight from the website. Ryan's Cases for Smiles, helping kids feel better to heal better. I just love everything this organization stands for, and I think it's a great charity from everything I've read about it. So if you have a sewing machine, if you enjoy sewing, this could be a great project. If you work with any type of youth organization like 4-H or any type of, you know, junior service league or anything in your area, this could be a great project. It's super easy. Even if you've never sewn before, I think you could figure this one out. You only need 2 stitch settings, a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. There is the option to serge the edges, but if not, you can just use a zigzag stitch. There's other methods of making pillowcases. I just used the pattern from their website. So anyway, happy sewing, and I hope everybody has a blessed week.